I want to ask kind of another big picture question, and I kind of want to start with Leo on this one.
Yo.
So why are hot toys worth collecting? And I think this is a question, Leo, because I've seen this in the analytics and what I've seen exploring these type of things that a lot of people search for. A lot of people wonder why these things are so expensive and why they're considered worth it to the people who purchase them. So, Leo, I want to ask you, I know nostalgia is a big thing for you. What is the main reason, or reasons rather, of why hot toys are worth collecting to you?
You just said it. Nostalgia.
See, I knew it.
That's it. I mean, nostalgia, like, why else do we collect? Just to have a piece of something that's memorable, something that we, whether it's a film, a television show, you know what I mean? Just, again, you want to have something that, kind of takes you back to those moments where you can recreate. You can have, a piece of it in your collection. You can, have discussions about it. It's a really, really good art piece to have. And again, like, it just takes you back to, the first time that, 1973 or not 1973, 1977, walking in, sitting down, watching Star Wars for the very first time. You know what I mean? Before it changed to New Hope, it was Star Wars, just Star Wars. It takes me back, again, going to see RoboCop in the theaters for the very first time, watching, Ghostbusters, and just having the same temptation to just have a bag of marshmallows after you got done watching it. You know what I mean? Just, all these things, Aliens, just Outlaw Josie Wells, like everything that basically we've seen in throughout, history. Now that, Hot Toys, and we have some of these third-party companies that are making these pieces, but Hot Toys mainly making things that, we have a connection to. That's the importance, I think, and what makes it worth it. You know what I mean? Star Wars has been, the pillar of my life. Marvel has been the pillar of my life. So to have, these things in my collection that I can look back and say, hey, I remember this moment, or, hey, this looks great. I mean, to have this piece, to have a head sculpt, that represents, an actor, even though, again, may she rest in peace, to have, an art piece of Carrie Fisher in my collection. Someone, again, growing up, characters that, were so memorable, even now, a lot of people who have figures of, people that are long gone, or, that actually passed, untimely death. Again, it's a connection. It is mainly having that connection to things that we've loved, that we cherish. And yeah, I think it's just so worth it. And the thing is, it's the anticipation. Once you get hooked, it's like a brand new tattoo. You always want to have another one. You have to have another one. You can't wait to see what's coming next. All of us, what are we doing this week? Right now, what are we doing at this very moment? We're here, but our mind is on waking up in the morning, seeing what Hot Toys is going to release this week, or what's going to actually be the new release or reveal. That's what we look forward to. I mean, again, like, that's just real talk. And that's the thing, it's infectious. Howard Chan created something that he knew that there were people out there like us that would gravitate to it. And it's huge. It's really huge. And the thing is, the community isn't as big as we think, but it is growing. It's much bigger than it was 3-4 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's bigger now, and it's continuous to grow. And like, hell, Hot Toys and these figures have made the news. Hell, one Hot Toy figure, even though fucking Harrison Ford destroyed it on TV, it made it on the Tonight Show. You know what I mean? You have like some of these actors talking about it and stuff like that, but it's there. You know what I mean? But, of course, we can say that we've been there since its, conception. And, again, we'll be there to the end, because it kind of takes us back, and we love it. So,
yeah, absolutely, bro. Great answer. And Ryan, Mr. Mom Collectibles, man, what about you? Like, why are Hot Toys worth collecting to you?
What he said.
You just want to echo that one. Okay.
How do I mean, yeah, how do you follow up that? It's everything that I'm listening to everything he's saying. I'm like,
you're like, yep,
different, but I'm like, no, but it's the truth. And you know what's great about that is that when someone can say something, you feel that exact same way about it. You don't really have to verbatim change anything. The one thing that I will say is getting someone, it's kind of like, I think about, like, also with like music, like trying to get someone to listen to another artist that you like, talking about it, but like putting, getting them to listen to it and seeing their reaction to it. That's how it was for me when I got my very first Hot Toy. I had a coworker that was in the hobby, and he was trying to explain to me, oh, you like collecting because we had, Ghostbusters, all this stuff. You should check out Hot Toys. I'm like, what are these things? And I was like, my first impression was, wow, they're expensive toys. And he's like, no, you don't understand. Get one in your hand and you will see the difference. I'm like, they're expensive toys. My first one, I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. But he's like, no, just take a leap of faith and spend $400 and buy one. I bought the Iron Man Mark 43. And when that figure came, and I tell a story before, you know, I opened it up. The weight of it, I didn't expect it to weigh the way, you know, the weight of it. I opened up, and me myself, I'm a big supporter of supporting local artists, things like that. I mean, despite all the connections you have to your childhood, you're holding a piece of art in your hand. And people, you know, sometimes don't think of it that way. We argue about head sculpts not looking right, but someone sat there and did that for days, hours. Whether or not you think it looks like that person or not, someone sat there and sculpted that, painted that, you know, with the, you know, whatever. And then you can argue afterwards whether it looks wrong or not. But the point is that when I opened up that figure and I saw that Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt, I'm like, I realized instantly I'm holding something different than a quote
than just a regular,
and then like just to touch base, I mean, like I said, like behind me, I got Jack, you know, I got the Mars Toys, Jack Nicholson, I got Batman next to him, DX09. That's childhood,
bro.
Below that is Marty and RoboCop. That's childhood. You know, that's what that is.
No
so those are my pillar stones. I'm not going to get my Ghostbusters. I have to live with that. But I mean, it's just so cool. And like, you know, when the DeLorean comes in next year, I'm gonna have a setup with Doc, and you get to recreate that moment. You know, and
bro.
It's something that's
DeLorean?
It's hard to explain, and not to try to plug anything, but I see that in my daughter. My daughter's like 2.5 years old, and I've been taking photos and videos of her coming in here and looking at these things. And those are genuine impressions that she has when she looks at a hot toy, and people laugh at me because I let her touch my. I don't care. She can touch whatever hot toy she wants, but when she sees it and she has like a look on her face of awe, even though she's 2.5 years old, I know that she's looking at something that's like it's more than a toy. Like I see that in her eyes, and I saw it too, and that's so cool, and that connection's so awesome. And one day this will all be hers. If she wants it, she can have it. It's all hers. But she's enjoying it too, and that's really cool. And like my coworker saw that facial expression I had when I saw that figure. You know, and because I did, he saw it when I opened it, he wanted to be there. He FaceTimed me, watched me open it, and was like, holy crap. That's how it was with my daughter. My daughter saw her, you know, my first hot toy and held it in her arms. That was, I got it, you know, I get it. And you know, it's so cool. I love them. But that's it's hard to get someone sold on until they have it in their hands. But once you have it in their hands, there's an appreciation. Like my wife, she appreciates them. You know, this is my hobby, but she sees it, and I see her coming in the room sometimes looking at them like, whoa, all right, I like this, is cool. There's an appreciation there for it, but you got to see it in hand. Talking about it and not seeing it in hand is totally two different things.
Yeah. Absolutely. See, you followed that up really well, man. You see, you don't give yourself enough credit. That was some wisdom that you dropped there. You and Leo both. And I want to see if Carlos can follow that up. Because Carlos,
fuck no,
Mr. Hot Toys collector here that's sworn off Hot Toys, dude. Why are Hot Toys worth collecting, man? Where are you at on this?
I have a question. So, which DeLorean are you getting, Ryan? The Hot Toy one?
The Hot Toys, yeah.
The Hot.
I have one up there. I have a 1/8 scale right there.
Okay.
Oh, that's cute. So no, I mean like the NR, they're doing
Hot Toys one, so
the NR is doing the Mark 1. That's what I was asking.
Yeah,
they're gonna do one in die cast and real leather and the whole thing. That's what I didn't know which one you were.
I'm already got the Hot Toys on payment plan, so we're good.
Gotcha.
With that.
Yeah, the NR is gonna be way more expensive, probably.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Man, but it's a pillar, so you can't put a price.
That's true. The pillar is no price is too much.
Guilt trip.
Yeah.
As far as why are Hot Toys worth collect, man, what Leal said, what Ryan said, you know, it's all about nostalgia, just getting things that remind you of everything. You know, what's funny is that my progression and my evolution as a collector has changed dramatically all the time. It's gone from I need pieces that are important to pieces that look cool, and now to pieces that like, well, I may like a lot of characters. I've realized I don't need, like, I love Iron Man, but I don't need every Iron Man. You know, I've evolved in that. Like, I need certain pieces, but I like to stick to just one per character, and only getting characters that are truly meaningful, ones that I'm willing to go that extra route to do custom things on so they can look even that much better and that much more realistic. So for me, that's why Hot Toys is worth collecting, you know, is just getting those pieces that are true, you know, truly special to you and mean it more than just like, oh, let me just get an armorized Deadpool or something. You know what I mean? Something that brings in real, you know, realism and that just looks great. So that's why I will say they're definitely worth it. But I'm there. It's funny because I remember the first Hot Toy I was looking at, I believe it was way back, it was like the Black Panther Civil War. And it was like 2 something, and I was like, "Fuck no, I'm never gonna spend 2 something on a figure."
Right, no.
I was like, "What idiots are spending this on this stuff?" You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. And then sure enough, I was like, buying a Hulkbuster eventually. You know what I mean? So yeah,
The
man,
1-to-1.
yeah, the 1-to-1, the 1-to-1. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, that's why I would say it's so good. So
Yeah. And I think what you guys really touched on too, the realism aspect. I think that's a huge part of why people buy Hot Toys, because it's, as of now, at least in 1/6 scale, by far the most lifelike thing that you can get. Maybe InArt can come in and create some controversy and some waves, right? But we don't know yet. But as far as now, why do people buy Hot Toys? Dude, it's the most lifelike representation you can get in that scale that you can articulate and pose and engage with. A lot of these statue companies are doing great things, but if you love Star Wars, man, Hot Toys is it. Because, I mean, you're not getting anything from Sideshow on that level.
Yeah, because if you want a realism, you go with Hot Toys. And if you your main priority was posing, then you wouldn't get a Hot Toy, right? Because it's not like they can pose the best.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You'd probably get like Mayfax or SH Figure Arts, stuff like that. But Hot Toys gives you a little bit of the best of both worlds, I feel like. Yeah. Right. They're obviously, their primary motive is to be realistic. That's obviously clear. They'll put fat suits in figures. They'll do whatever. Like,
like the what's it, the Beskar Mando? You couldn't even pose him. So if like posing is your number one thing, then I feel like Hot Toys is like realism first, posing is second. But maybe for Gore it was something different.
Yeah, for Gore it was backwards.
It was backwards.